Okay.
Okay.
What presentation do you have today?
The social media and teens.
All right. Okay. Fine. Then you can pick it up. And, you got any slides to be shown?
No, sir.
So it's just an oral presentation.
Yeah, I mean, like, slides I could, but like, it would just, I don't know if it would be exactly the most thing. It would be much of a help in this.
I see.
Because, like, this type of presentation, it's more like you can, but like, it's also easier not to.
Okay. I'll leave it to the interface that you are holding up. Tanvi, you hear me?
Good evening, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, good. Good evening. So we will listen to Achyut's presentation. Yes, Achyut, you can start your presentation.
Okay, so teens and social media, basically, by Achyut Venkat. So like the social media has been obviously improving and increasing in use over the past decade or so. Oh, as ever since like all these new crazy technologies, like now everyone has a smartphone basically and are connected to the internet, and like this allows for a variety of platforms to emerge. And now like lots of teens are especially being used them like in schools, like they're now more digitalized than ever. Like everything is now being using the every school in some way is using the internet, some are using it a lot. So like there's also an internet, there's a lot of great things that could come. Like it's easier now to access information rather than like scanning through textbooks, like heavy textbooks. You can just give it a search and it will give you an answer. Like that's a good use. But like there's also social media, yeah, which there's benefits, but there's also lots of harm as well, both in that, and it affects the teen mentally and physically as well, health wise. And so like I'll discuss about that before we talk about the benefits and harms of social media. Let's just talk about how social media have been. There's some statistics about social media that we can talk about here. So like youtube uh, YouTube is by far the most popular at 95% of teams using it somewhat now. And then like TikTok is the second most popular, even though it's banned in India and a bunch of other countries. And now they're even considering a ban in the US as well. It's still 67% of teens use TikTok now, which is astounding growth. Like it's even more than Instagram and Snapchat, which are the more teen oriented social medias. Facebook and Twitter have decline in use actually, and all of this is between 2014 and 2022. So like 2014, when the internet starts to come, when like all these new social media began to emerge. Well, 2022, we lived through a pandemic, we lived through all of this stuff where social media could actually be influential. And like yeah, and then WhatsApp, Reddit, it are below Twitter and like that. They're in the teens right now in terms of percentage of use by people, but still they are really big. Like overall social media right now, 16% of people are constantly on TikTok, meaning like they're average like an hour or two daily on TikTok per day. So like that is an incredible amount of time like that. And like another thing is the percentage of teens with a smartphone has been one of the main reasons of this increase. So like 73% in 2014 had a smartphone. Now 95% of teens have a smartphone in 2022. And like it's just rising across the thing, especially with the more connectivity with 4G, 5G, all this stuff. It's now more there, and it's relatively the same across every group. So like the increase is not necessarily among like one major group. Like both boys and girls are having it, both regardless of younger age and higher age also have it. Like by the time you're 60, 16 in America, 99% of kids have phones. So like that is increasing. And like if you're 12-year-old, 89% have phone, which is very big. 12-year-old. It was like you couldn't imagine that a decade ago, but now it is. And like that comparatively to smartphones, like like gaming devices like the Xbox or like PS4, they have relatively stayed the same across most age across the years, but like smartphone usage is going up like anything. And like the last statistic is now 97% of teens are using the internet daily, which makes sense. Like that's not too concerning because like typically schoolwork requires internet and that. And in 2014, the number was 92%. So like, it's not a big increase, I'd say. Like 92% was already a very big number. So like it's just showing. However, and then however this almost however the number where teenagers are spending almost constantly is increasing. So like in 2014, only 24% or a quarter of teenagers are spending their time constantly on the internet. Now nearly half of teenagers are spending nearly a twofold increase. Double the amount of teenagers are spending half their time constantly in the internet, meaning almost constant, meaning in several hours a day on the internet, which is way too much, and that number is set to rise like anything and the things. So now all this numbers and stuff may seem really thing, and like some social media like YouTube, like with the 95%, it may be justified. It's like lots of you there may be sure there's entertainment on YouTube, but there's lots of learning stuff on YouTube as well. Like you can post videos about educating about psychology, and like you can you can teach other people. So like YouTube is that. However, TikTok is more for entertainment. That's also increasing. So like it's not necessarily increasing because of educating, which it has been in which does it be because except COVID, it didn't increase. So like COVID is an exception here, but like we'll talk about that later. But like now the potential benefits of social media, it's like a more way to stay connected with friends. So like friends, like you can easily stay connected. Like again, you don't need to meet up in a physical place. You don't need to go. Like you can just take the time to go. You can just talk in a phone in a few seconds now. So like that's like one thing. And like you can also meet new friends again with the availability and vast resource of internet. Anyone can meet anyone, and like you can meet anyone new, even if they're halfway across the globe. Like and like you can also like share share education and share your music. For example, if you produce music, you can easily share it now, and like it will probably gain more popularity now with the internet. Like you don't need to have a CD or have a record album to produce music now. You just need to post it on internet, whether it be on YouTube or TikTok, and like you have a large following pretty soon if you're doing pretty good in it. And so that's like some of the benefits. However, there's the benefits may have lots of complementary risks to it. Like with the main meeting friends thing online, like you're technically meeting strangers online, and like how strangers like you're not like in real life you're not gonna meet you're not just gonna meet strangers and get comfortable right away with them. Similarly, online you're supposed to, though since it's online, like people tend to forget, and like it's leads to more dangerous things, and like it could lead to some dangerous things happening to you, whether it be bullying or like using your exploiting your personal information, or like all this crazy stuff that happens with it. And like you can also and also like internet use, it's one of the main reasons for companies to grow, like social media. Like many of social media platforms have ads on their platform, and it's able, and like companies are able to exploit ads like anything on young people, sometimes for unsafe and like unsafe and like unterrible products that they shouldn't be using, but they are using, and they're getting scammed with that. So like that's like advertisement. It's always been around, though, like the internet just allows more of it to come in, which can also, and it also, and in general, the thing is like to affect sleep, exercise, nice habits, homework, family, friends, even sometimes even, and sports, and like it affects all these aspects of daily life. Like if it's, the more time is probably the most valuable resource on earth, and like if you devote more of your time to social media, you're gonna have less time to do anything else, like spend time with family, which do your homework. Like many people are now shifting late at night just because they've been watching social media. And then they're doing homework late at night, and it's distracting them from doing it. And like if you're just sitting around watching social media, you're not gonna get the proper exercise you need. Like teens are supposed to have like 60 minutes of active exercise every year, and like now a lot of them are not meeting that thing because of just looking at devices. And well, and like sleep habits as well. Obviously, if you have more time, you'll have less time to sleep, and like sleep will have. So like there is also, there's all these stuff that there's there, and like the social media. Uh, and like there's some studies as well to show prove this, and like it's physical and mental health effects, and it can even affect social health as well. Even though it's social media and you can't connect to your friends more, you lose the day-to-day context. Like some studies include in 2019 study in the US of 12 to 15-year-olds found that more social media usage causes more mental health problems. And then like similarly, like another study of 13 to 16-year-olds also found a correlation between poor mental health and social media usage. So like that is a major thing. And like just and like they sold it's like even a 2013 study found like some adolescents and teens, they just watch pictures on social media, pictures of others, and like it's causing a lower or in lower life satisfaction, and like lower self-esteem just by viewing couple of pictures per day in social media. That's one simple thing. And like another thing with social media, so you can only expose your best self. Like you don't need to show anything else. Like you can just show your best self, which there's benefits to that. Like you don't want it, you don't want people to look at you bad or anything, but like it can also be manipulative to the team who's watching. Like they may think, oh, they're living such a good life, and like, well, we are not living a good life like that, even though it may not be the case with that picture. Like the picture is manipulative to them. So like that is the thing. So like, and like what social media before the COVID-19 pandemic, like it was very clear that they need to restrict social media, but then COVID came, and like a lot of the stuff now has changed. Like some of them, like YouTube, suddenly became really valuable for education and for work purposes to share ideas and thoughts. Like YouTube, like with the you're not able to go outside to like whether to be shopping or like to play with friends as typical with it. Now it's you have to go to the internet, and like we forced, and like luckily social media, no, we had a very big base on social media. Like it was able to connect a lot of people together, even with a terrible pandemic like this. Like we were able to go through these lockdowns and survive them mainly because of this. Now, obviously, mental health and physical health have declined because of this pandemic, but still like they're at least social media, there's actually studies that it may have prevented it further, like the mental health decline, because they were able to stay connected with friends and that. And like you could, and like if a person is dying from COVID, like you can at least say goodbye virtually. And like it's not as good as physically saying it, but at least it's better than not saying it at all. So like it's kind of that option. So like a lot of the benefits were definitely highlighted there. And like social media has been used to benefit all of these, everyone here with COVID. And like typically some people even gone stronger after the pandemic, like in terms of like their their friends and stuff. They got made new friends in the pandemic, and like they overall all gained from the pandemic. Not a lot of people, but like majority of them. And social media, like I don't use too much. I think I'd say not a lot. I mean, like I watch YouTube, obviously. I have some Discord and like other stuff, but like it's not to the crazy level, I'd say, of like other people, which like is good for me in general. Like social media sometimes is can be beneficial, definitely, but like whoever uses social media to the benefit is now being considered for colleges now in the US. Like one person sets up a business, like colleges see very well in that, and like they'll be more likely to admit it into a higher university. So like colleges want to see are actually encouraging the use of social media because they know there's benefits. It's however, they just want to see who can take the benefits rather than get the risk terrible part of social media affect them. So like that's like one of the things. And like in conclusion, there's also some ways to like prevent social media, like for like their phone companies like Apple and Google realized this, and so they kept parents can control their teens phones, and like they can control the limit of the amount of time they can spend on a certain app. Like if it's for example social media, they can restrict TikTok to like 30 minutes per day or something like that, to make it get easier for them to not do it. However, it's still not gonna be enough. It's clearly rising, and like so like it's good. Even in TikTok, like even if it's banned in India, people are still using it undercover like anything. So like it's not. So teens are smart enough to go through that and avoid it just to get to avoid all these restrictions just to get it. So like it's not anything. So and like that social media usage, there's a lot of benefits, but like there's a lot more risks as well. So like the important thing is to use the benefits to your advantage, and like make sure the risks don't affect your life, especially as it declines your mental health, physical health, and all that.
All right, so that was a very good presentation, although it was not aided with presentation slides. Things were clearly explained. Tanvi, do you have any questions towards Archit's presentation?
No, sir. Achudana's presentation was really very nice, sir.
Okay, that's good.
Thank you.
All right. Understandably, Archit, when you mentioned about the exploitation of TikTok, people using it undercover, even in US, TikTok is to be banned, and if you take Singapore and Malaysia, and a few countries in the Middle East section, and even in the subcontinent, we have a lot of people using TikTok, and some people for entertainment, some people for taking things into a different regard of destroying the people's lives. But then my question is, when a person is having the motive, or when a person is having the drive to use the internet, is it really possible to succumb the drive and live a life without internet? Because you see, when you see the trigger, like if a person is exploiting social media, the reason for social media is the drive to use the internet. And people, the millennials, specifically who are born in the 2000s, they think that internet is indispensable and inevitable in life. So do you think a person can live life where he or she can control the impulse of using the internet so that that indirectly leads to a proper self-control over the social media? If
Before
that
the
is going to be possible, yeah.
Yeah, so okay, so before the pandemic, it would definitely be a lot easier to implement that. Like schools just didn't have much of an internet structure for it. And like you can, so like yeah, they had textbooks, they had everything. Again, like you didn't need to use it. But the COVID pandemic changed everything. Like you were forced to be on the internet if you want to go to school. Well, I'm and now like my schools, like I can see the difference now. Like now everything is online now. The assignments, a lot of it, there's still paper pencil, but they post the assignment prompt online, meaning I still have to look online to get the answer. And like the textbooks just become so much easier. Like you don't need to carry around 5 textbooks. You can just have it in a instant in the iPad. So like COVID definitely changes this question a lot to make it like almost impossible. And like with the public school system and like teach and like it's beneficial for them as well. It's cheaper, it's more efficient than textbooks and like buying these, which are often expensive. So like the society school systems are not gonna adjust for that. However, like if you however, the only option then is to either go homeschool, which like also have potential risk with like not having enough social behavior, which will mess up your skills, like and like mental health even sometimes declines because of homeschools. It varies, but like it's then generally the trend of that. So like there also is risks about that. So like and like social media, so like carries the same risk as social media, except and like but and like homeschool kids, like it's theoretically possible you could that you can definitely have a person disconnected from the internet and like homeschooled without the internet. However, even then it's hard. Like even then, parents are homeschooled kids now are using internet more than ever because parents are just simply not gonna get because like if you want a textbook, like you're not gonna let's say you want a textbook and like you're not gonna go to like a nearby bookstore and get it. Like there's not a lot of those anymore. Like cause especially with the supply shortage in textbooks in the here, like all the textbooks are now moving online and stuff. Like newer editions are just moving online. So like it's becoming really challenging to get the learning materials now just without using the internet. And so like that's like a really hard thing to do. Like before COVID, I can understand because like the infrastructure just wasn't there to have internet dominate school. But now it's a very different story. So I'd say it's almost impossible. Unless if you're like unless if you go to like a certain trade or skill, like let's say your family of farmers and like you want to continue farming. And now you farm so like then like you just need to learn the skills from your family and just raise a life of farm. However, even then like you have to go to the internet to sell your stuff to advertise your products from the farm and like that's like a big risk. There's ways to severely limit it, but there's not I don't think almost no way like a person is gonna live a life without being exposed to the internet at some point. That's like
Okay. And you mentioned yourself that you are not using social media that much, but you watch YouTube, and you watch YouTube for varieties of reasons, for gaining knowledge and for getting informed about what's happening outside. And there could be other several reasons as well. Now, are you using in the, I'm thinking of a concept, on which I'm going to make a video that is synchronized learning using YouTube. The biggest challenge about YouTube is you go for some topic, and what happens is the topic takes you with various regards, and the text takes you into different branches. You go for topic A, and it leads to topic B, topic C, topic D, topic E. And after about 35 minutes or 45 minutes, or even an hour, a couple of hours for that matter, you then suddenly remember that we came for topic A. And you just look back, and the 2 hours have been lost. So, how do you think this can be controlled, or this can be sorted out? Because 95% of the YouTube users are falling trapped for this particular problem. So, are you really having a laser focus towards the topic that you are learning or trying to learn from YouTube, or you also are holding up this particular defect? And how do you
I
overcome
can
that?
see that problem, yeah. A problem of like not retaining enough information from YouTube. Like it's the like I'm not even I have to I don't learn everything from YouTube in one video. Like one simple watch, I don't learn everything. Like it takes multiple watches, and like you have to do it. So like just like if you're a lecturer in school, like the teacher teaching, like giving a lecture, or like you have to be paying attention, you have to be taking notes in order to grasp everything, because the teacher ultimately is going to do the lecture only once. And so like that's like the one thing there, like if you miss it, you're not gonna be doing well on the test or something, and then you're gonna be not paying it, missing information from the teacher. So like the definite thing here is like to use YouTube just like the way you want to use to be in a lecture. Like make sure to like take notes, make sure to like actually take. And while it's not as interactive as lectures, like you could, like you're not gonna directly ask a question to them. You can still clarify your doubts later. Like you can just put down your questions and then like search up the internet, and like the internet could potentially give you solutions. So like you just ultimately do what you're doing for like lectures and stuff. So like you pay attention, first of all, be attentive, take the notes required you want, whether and like take it whatever you feel like most you'll retain the most information. And like also make sure to grasp the key points, especially, and like if you have any questions, like then like clarify your doubts. Like and there's even a comment section on YouTube where you can ask them, hopefully, and like you can even ask others for your doubts, and like if not, then you can just search them up, and you should be getting an answer soon. So like that's like the things I would do.
Okay, all right. Okay, so that was pretty good presentation, and I really appreciate Rachit for taking to the mainstream topic on youngsters' distraction, which is the social media. Right, so that's about Rachit's presentation. Tell me what presentation you have for today.
Sir, healthy foods and unhealthy foods, sir.
Okay, do you have the PPT for that, Tanvi?
Yes, sir.
All right. We just have a couple of minutes in this window. So a new window will be started after 4 minutes. So what we can do is, on the other side of opening a new window, both of you can take a breather, a 4-minute water break or something. And then we'll start a new window where we will see Tanvi's presentation and the credit rating system spreadsheet update, because it's been a while since Achyut has seen his CRS spreadsheet. We will do both in the other side after 4 minutes. Achyut and Tanvi, I'll see you in the other window after 4 minutes.
Okay, sir. Bye.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Tanvi.